I'm Sunny Bottoms, and this is Between Two Levees. My guest today is Justin Hensley. He's a rice consultant in Southeast Arkansas. How are you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for joining me. In talking to you, you specified that you consult only on rice acres and no other crops. Is that correct?
That is correct. I just do rice.
I also have heard that your wife is an extremely beautiful lady and very, very smart.
She's okay.
So, can you tell me a little bit about the field that we're in today?
Yes, this is a row rice field that we have. It's kind of a heavier playground. We've got it planted on very small rows that were left from the last year. Kind of mellowed out through the winter, so we don't have a lot of bed to it, which is kind of what we like. We've planted about a 30-degree angle across the beds. We do that because it kind of, when it rolls over the beds at that angle, does a little better job of burying the seed, whereas when you run directly with the rows, sometimes you have problems with the middles not lining up properly and it not covering seed in the furrows, so we kind of get a better stand doing it this way. This is a field of Dynagro 263, so it is a conventional variety, but it does very well on row rice, especially in this kind of ground where it's more of a flat clay field, which is another reason we do the row rice on it, because when it's time to drain for harvest, we actually have a lot better ability to dry the field down to where we don't rut it as bad and can actually come in right behind it, do mild prep work before a bean crop goes on it the next year.
Okay, so that sounds like an advantage to row rice in this particular situation. Are there any other advantages or disadvantages to row rice versus levied rice?
The main advantages is being able to drain it, get it dried. When you come in behind a bean crop, you don't have to do the field prep, so you save a lot of money in diesel and time.
Yeah, I can see the bean stubble out here. Yeah.
So that works out pretty well. Disadvantages, the main reason to grow rice in levees is for weed control. The water is actually the best form of weed control, especially with the grasses that compete with the rice crop. So you lose that as a cultural practice of weed control, but you can manage it with a little bit of extra herbicide applications.
Now that you mentioned herbicide applications, this is a conventional field, so there's no herbicide tolerant traits or anything in this. So what are your plans for this field this year?
On this field, at planting, we'll put command down with Roundup and sharpen, kind of get a good burn down on everything. About the time it's coming out of the ground here pretty soon, we'll hit it with another shot of herbicide. We'll have an ounce of gambit in there with stam or facet, depending on what we've got, what's up, what problems we may have. A lot of times we'll do that, and then it'll buy us enough time, especially if we put a little pendimethalin in there for some residual control. We'll get by with doing that, say about the 1-2 leaf, and then right before what would be the pre-flood application, we'll do a shot with Regiment, Gambit, and another application of pendimethalin to kind of give us the residual we need to carry us on until we get a good bit of ground cover and block out everything.
With those 2 applications of Gambit, 1 ounce followed by an ounce, I have seen that work very well for several years. What are your main goals with using that approach?
With doing that, we seem to get a lot longer residual. Having it in that, the 1 followed by 1 gives us more residual than if you just did a 1.5 ounce shot. Seems to carry us further past the flood stage, and it gives us a lot of controls. In this area, we've got some problems with coffee bean or hemp sesbania, and we also have problems with joint vetch, and that gives us residual control of both of those, which are really bad, especially on this field. So we'll see season-long control with it from that, where we keep everything wet, even on the tops of the field where it doesn't stay in a flooded environment. It still gives us enough residual that it'll get us through the season with it, and it picks up some of the morning glory species that we have. So it's very beneficial on the broadleaf spectrum.
All right, thank you for joining me today, Justin.
You're welcome.